Well, thank you very much for having me. It is an honor and a privilege to be part of this important conversation. I appreciate the opportunity to share my views as the youth parliamentarian for Latrikunda-Sabiji, and I look forward to a respectful and meaningful discussion. When we talk about FGM, we're talking about a harmful practice, female genital mutilation. But it's also important that I share my views. My personal view is that every girl deserves to grow up with healthy, safe, and with all her right respected. I believe we should continue educating communities about the health risk and, of course, human rights concerns associated with FGM. Positive change is more sustainable when communities understand reasons behind it. Yes, of course, young people have an important role to play. We should educate ourselves, encourage respectful discussions, and of course, challenge harmful myths with facts and support girls and families in making informed decisions. And we should also work with elders, religious leaders, and communities because lasting change comes through unity. Because if we're talking about FGM, the religious leaders believe that yes, it is happening during the time of the Prophet ﷺ. And of course, he did not say, stop this. But he said, if you're doing, make sure you do it rightly. And I think that's what they're advocating for. So if that is happening now, then there is need for much more dialogue on the matter if there are harmful effects, which believe is there already. So there is need for dialogue on that issue as well. Yes, of course. I support the laws that protect the health, safety and rights of women and girls. At the same time, I believe the law should be accompanied by continuous public education, community engagements, and support so that the people understand why protecting girls is very important. If there are laws and there is no enough sensitization, education on the matter, then people will not care about even if the laws are there. So there is need for more public sensitization, public engagements on the matter. Culture is rich and beautiful. It is much more than one practice. Communities can preserve values such as respect, discipline, and of course unity and moral upbringing through education, celebration, mentoring, and traditional ceremonies that do not involve cutting. Culture can grow while protecting the well-being of girls. When we talk about culture, it's about protection. When we talk about culture, you're talking about someone to know, their self, to know their rights. That being the case, I think there is much more things important than when we talk about culture. It's very important. Of course, yes. Awareness campaigns have made a difference compared to the past. The conversation is much more open now, and many people now better understand the health and human rights issues surrounding FGM. Although there are reports that some people continue the practice in secret, yes, we are hearing that sometimes, which shows that the campaign on FGM, people are now understanding the rights. But more needs to be done by expanding education in communities, schools, and the media, and of course, while engaging religious leaders because they're keen to this, and of course, traditional leaders, youths, and women in respectful dialogue. It's always important when we talk about FGM. But the case is, the awareness campaign on FGM made a very big difference in the Gambia. I have not had a personal experience or a detailed conversation about FGM within my family. However, through community discussions, youth engagements, and learning from different perspectives, I have come to understand the importance of listening respectfully, promoting education, encouraging conversations that protect girls while bringing communities together. They need access to quality healthcare, counseling, where needed, accurate health information, and support without stigma or discrimination. A community should treat them with dignity and compassion, while the government and healthcare providers, continue improving services and public education. This is what the men who go on the FGM need. They need the support of the government. They need the support of the people. There should be no stigma that should be attached to the people who do not also want to do it. They should share accurate information, give space to experts and community voices, encourage respectful dialogue, and avoid insulting or judging people. The goal should be to educate, build understanding, and inspire positive change rather than creating division. That should be the role of the media, the role of the influencers, and the young leaders as well, to create a platform where they invite experts on the subject matter is very important. My message is that the future of the Gambia depends on how well we protect and empower our children. And we'll talk about children here. We're talking about the girl child. So the rights of the girl child are very important because they are our mothers, they are our sisters, they are our wives. So their right, especially on the side of FGM, is very important. So let us continue having respectful conversation, listen to one another, and work together to promote the health, dignity, and the rights of every girl. This should be our stand. When we work together, we understand it in mutual respect. We can preserve the positive values of our culture while ensuring safer and healthier future for the next generation.